Welcome. And thank you very much for joining me today. My name is Michael Dinney, and this is a relaxed Hatha yoga class. Still get you moving a little bit and breathing deeply, and then we'll do some seated breathing exercises after doing a good Shavasana. So you'll need a yoga strap for today's class and 2 yoga blocks. And we'll actually start off laying on the yoga blocks. You can place one underneath your shoulder blades and have a second one at the back of your head. And I'm going to place it so my head is a little bit higher than the heart. Great way to approach the pose. So you can bend your knees and come onto your forearms to set it up. And then with the upper back supported, relax down onto it. And then adjust the second block to support the back of the head. Make yourself really comfortable. And then reach the arms back, taking a long breath in. And as you exhale, explore bending the elbows out to the sides. As you inhale, reach the arms back. Slowly try to straighten the arms. Allow the shoulder blades to spread apart. And on the exhale, bend the elbows, opening through the chest. And continue to explore at your own pace. We'll do this for about another full minute. If you find some cobwebs or some point in the pose where you'd like to hold for a little while and breathe, releasing tension, please do so, wherever that may be. As you're exhaling, it's easy to feel the core contracting a little bit. Try to maintain a bit of that contraction as you're inhaling and reaching back. And it's really easy to lose the core on the inhale, so try to maintain a little bit of that strength. Focus on following the exhale all the way out, breathing through the nose. And then next time we reach the arms straight back, let's pause there. As straight as you're comfortable, try taking the arms shoulder width or wider and breathe. And you can explore letting the shoulders lift up to the ears a little bit. Letting the shoulder blades lift. About 3 more long, slow breaths. 2 more breaths. Relax the jaw and relax the tongue behind the top teeth. And then with your exhale, connect to the core. You can place your hands at the back of the head, and we'll help ourselves off the blocks. You can either do the sit-up, coming directly up, or you can lay onto your left side, supporting yourself on the forearm. Then sliding the blocks off to the side, we'll lay onto the back and hug the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. If it feels good, you could try rocking side to side gently. And then resting in the center, try softening the belly for a moment and bring the hands to the knees. Explore bringing the knees out to the sides and then in towards each other. Using your hands to help guide the movement, but also use the muscles in the actual legs. And so as the hands do less of the work and the legs do more, you may find that your hip flexors get kind of overactive. It's very common. So we use the abdominal core to help tame the hip flexors. If you think of your hip flexors as like a lion, it's never going to be put to sleep, but it can be tamed by using muscles like the abdominal muscles, as well as the hip extensors, which include your buttocks and hamstrings, strengthening those connections. And then give the right knee a big squeeze towards the shoulder. And you're welcome to rest the left foot on the floor with the knee bent. And take a few breaths there. So maybe you're holding the front of the knee, maybe you're holding behind the knee. Either variation is great. If the hip flexor is feeling really tight on that right side, try consciously contracting the buttock and pressing the knee a little bit further out to the right, away from the midline. Gentle effort may be enough. Half happy baby next. So lift your right ankle towards the sky. If you have long arms like me, you might just grab hold of your foot, or if you're quite flexible. Otherwise, very helpful to use a strap around the sole of your foot. And so this has the function of making your arm a little bit longer, which can accommodate proportions of the limbs as well as flexibility in the hamstrings. And then explore gently pulling back with the arm, gentle effort, while also pressing up through the strap. So gentle effort in both directions. And as you continue turning your hip out, the thigh bone goes further out to the right. Continue rocking the legs side to side. If you're really flexible, you can take that foot into your left hand. This is technically called the cradle rock stretch. You might find a really nice stretch in the right buttock. Okay, now for the fun part. So take the strap around your foot if you haven't yet, and then give it some slack so you can totally straighten the right leg up. Press your left foot into the floor to lift your pelvis and bring it to the right edge of the mat. And then with a long exhale, slowly bring both of the legs towards the left side, coming into a spinal twist variation. Try to keep the right leg straight by engaging the muscles in the front of the thigh, the quadriceps. And then tame the hip flexors by squeezing the buttock muscles, the glutes. And you're welcome to keep the head centered, or you can turn the head looking over the right shoulder. We'll take about 3 more deep breaths. Maybe there's a nice stretch in the outside of the right hip or even through the right side of the belly. And try to breathe into the belly. One more breath. And then bending your knee, let go of the stretch, and we'll come back to the center. Placing the soles of the feet on the floor, center the pelvis, and then hug your left knee in towards your left shoulder. Give it a little squeeze. You can also contract the glute a bit more, the buttock, bringing the knee out to the left. Explore a little bit and see what feels right. See what feels comfortable. And then half happy baby / cradle rocks. You can lift the left ankle and take a strap around the ball of the foot, or simply hold it with your hand as an option. And then we'll start by turning the thigh a little more outwards so that left thigh bone is going out to the left more, away from the midline. Very gently pull back with the arm and press up through the foot. From there you can start to rock the legs side to side. Exploring the stretch from the back of the thigh all the way to the outside of the left hip. And this is really helpful for opening the hips and being able to one day sit on the floor really comfortably if you have any trouble with that. And then taking the leg across, pause for a moment, stretching into that left buttock. And then we'll set up for the spinal twist. Press through the right heel and move your pelvis over to the left side of the mat. Straighten the left leg up as much as you can comfortably. Take a breath in. On a long exhale, slowly bring your legs over towards the right side. Continue to straighten the leg. Very gently pull back on the strap while engaging the glutes. You can also use your hand to roll the left thigh away from the belly, or simply open your arm up and breathe. And then very slowly come back to center. And then we'll lower the left foot. Bring the right leg straight up to the sky, center the pelvis. Same principles, we'll take a strap around the foot. Try to keep the legs straight this time. And then as you flex your toes to your shin, you can gently pull back, keeping the quadriceps strong. So maybe you're holding both ends of the strap with one hand. Maybe you're holding each end of the strap, which can be a really great way to do it. It's kind of like pulling back on a resistance band, opening the chest. And we'll take a few breaths. You can also create a gentle resistance by pushing the ball of the foot up against the strap. So feel free to play around. And then take both ends of the strap with your right hand. On a long exhale, go out to the right. And then inhale, come back to center or even cross the midline halfway to the left. Again, exhale to the right. Inhale, partway across the center. And then continue making big circles. It does help to engage the glutes in these positions, especially as the leg goes closer to the midline. That helps make the hip joint a little bit more stable in all ranges of motion, really. And then we'll open that leg out to the right side and pause for 5 breaths. You can press your bent knee out to the left just to keep the pelvis fairly neutral or still. And the movement is then coming from the hip joints. And take a few bonus breaths. Try pointing your foot into the strap and pressing the foot into the strap as if you were trying to escape the position, but the strap is holding the leg there. And see if you can feel the muscles in the back of the right thigh contracting, the glutes as well as the hamstring muscles. This is a great way to create stability in the knee joint when the leg is straight. Engaging the muscles on both sides of the knee joint, the quads on the front, hamstrings and glutes on the back. And then slowly come back to center and let go. Take a moment to feel the residue. Circle the wrists, let them relax a bit. One of my favorite parts of yoga is that it's so different than exercise. You get to just relax whenever you want. We'll take the left leg up, loop the strap around the ball of the foot, or hold both ends. Up to you. And we'll hang out in the middle for a bit. You might flex toes to shin, engage the front of the thigh, attempting to straighten the leg. You You can also try spreading toes and pushing the ball of the foot against the strap. That's another way of activating muscles around the back of the knee joint. So you may feel some tension in the calf, maybe in the hamstring. It's good to come back to that in standing poses. And then taking the strap with the left hand, we'll make some big circles. Exhale to the left, knee out to the right. Inhale, crossing the center. And then continue. Exhale to the left, knee to the right. Inhale across center. And keep on going at your own pace. And then opening to the left side, we'll pause at a sweet spot. If your focus is stretching, focus on relaxing the back of the leg initially, engaging the quadricep, and find your comfortable limit. Your comfortable limit. If that checks out pretty well, you can apply a gentle resistance, pointing your foot into the strap to help engage the glutes and hamstrings without changing the actual position. And so this has a way of training the body or the nervous system to recognize that it can still be strong and stable in that range of motion. And then relax the back of the leg. Keep the front of the thigh strong. Very slowly come back to center. And then we'll set the strap aside. Bring the arms out to the sides and take the feet about as wide as the mat, keeping the knees bent. As you exhale, windshield wiper the knees to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. And then keep on going at your own pace. Windshield wiper the legs. A few more repetitions. And then come back to the center, placing the feet roughly hip width, a few inches in front of the buttocks. Rest your arms by your sides and try to relax your belly for a moment as you loop the shoulders back into the floor, attempting to open the chest. So you can think of slightly elevating the shoulders, like an inch or so, and then rolling them back into the floor. Engage between the shoulder blades. You can also imagine that you just rode a boat or pulled back on a resistance band. Now with an inhale, lift the hips up. Try to keep the legs parallel. Exhale, slowly lower your spine. Again, inhale, lift the hips. Root through the feet fully. Exhale, slowly lower down. And do a few more like that. Notice how there's different choices for lowering down. You could go down vertebra by vertebra using quite a bit of abdominal strength. Send the tailbone towards the knees. And the other way of coming down is honoring the natural curve of the lumbar, keeping an engagement between the shoulder blades as the sacrum comes down. So that's near the back of the pelvis. So do a few more rounds. And if you figure out your preferred method of coming down, see how it feels to do it a different way. Whether that means going vertebra by vertebra or honoring the natural curve of your lower back. Very good. And then we'll meet on our backs. And so now we'll do movement with the arms. On a long inhale, lift the arms over the head towards the back of the mat. Long exhale, slowly return the hands to the floor, next to the hips. Again, inhale, lift the arms. And see if you can honor the natural curve of your lumbar spine. Exhale, slowly bring the arms down. And a few more times on your own. Good. And now we'll add a complete vinyasa. So this will involve moving the arms on one breath and then moving the hips on the next part of the breath. On a long inhale, lift the arms over the head. Staying there on the exhale, lift the hips up, just like bridge. Inhale, bring the arms down. Keep lifting the hips. Exhale, slowly lower the spine. And repeat. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, lift the hips. Inhale, slowly lower the arms. Exhale, lowering through the vertebra. Long inhale, lift the arms. Resist gravity. Long exhale, lift the hips. Strong in the buttocks. Try to keep the legs parallel. Inhale, lower the arms. Exhale, lower the spine. Grand finale, last one. Inhale, lift the arms, reaching back. Parallel legs. Exhale, lift the hips, engaging the buttocks. Inhale, lower the arms, but keep the hips up, and we'll pause there. Full bridge for 5 breaths. So you might hold on to the edges of the mat and try to tear the mat apart. That engages the shoulder abductors. At the same time, try to squeeze the shoulder blades. Another option is interlacing the fingers behind the back if you're quite open in the shoulders. And then you can try to wiggle the upper arm bones even closer to each other. 2 more breaths. And then releasing the interlace, letting go of the mat. With an exhale, slowly lower your spine. Oof, that was hard work. I thought this was a metal class. So we'll draw the knees into shoulders, cross the ankles, and then engaging your core, slowly roll along the length of the spine. If that feels pretty comfortable, keep on doing it. Otherwise, you can come up to a sitting position. And then we'll all meet in sitting, just simple cross legs. If you need to elevate the pelvis, feel free to take a block underneath your pelvis. Sit on the floor if possible. And then allow the spine to round. Shoulders forward, drop the tail. And then as you inhale, slowly start to sit up straight. Think of rooting through the center of the sit bones. And as you exhale, lean back, take the shoulders forward, lower the chin, stretching the whole back of the spine. Inhale, slowly start to sit up, lifting the heart. Option to lift the chin at the end. And exhale, rounding the back. Look towards the navel. Inhale, slowly roll up. And last one. Exhale, rounding. And then we'll meet in an upright sitting position. Press the backs of the hands together gently. And make some circles with your wrists, going half circles in one direction and then the other. And try to go nice and slow around the end of the movement as you offer your heart forward. And then we'll pause there. So opening the palms up. Think of aiming your fingertips towards your forearms. So this challenges the mobility in the wrist. And now press the forearms together as much as you can. That's going to activate the shoulder blade spreader, serratus anterior, one of your main shoulder stabilizers. Now start to offer your heart forward to the camera. Start to straighten the arms gradually. And then keep reaching up. Take a few breaths, gazing towards the hands. And exhale, relax down. Very good. We'll take the hands forward now for table position. You may want to set up your yoga blocks so they're near the front of the mat, but just off to the side. And then placing the hands underneath the shoulders. We'll do a similar movement through the spine. So pushing through your hands, try to find that shoulder blade spreader muscle, serratus anterior. Fingers spreading wide, all the knuckles rooting through the upper palm. On your next exhale, drop the tail and sit towards the heels. And then as you inhale, slowly come forward, shoulders over wrists, shoulder blades spreading. Exhale, slowly move back in space. Inhale, slowly come forwards. If that's feeling pretty good, try taking your hands a little bit more forward. So it takes a bit more core strength to support the lower back. And then continue flowing back, exploring. Moving with your breath. And about 3 more to go. And then pause at some point on the exhale movement as you start to draw the hips back towards the feet. So any moment is a great pose. You can decide. Keep the arms as straight as you can. And breathe. We'll take about 5 slow breaths. Inhale to come up. Walk the hands towards your knees. And then there's the option to tuck the toes and keep the pelvis raised. Or you can try sitting back towards the heels if that feels comfortable. And we'll shake the wrists out a little bit. I forgot to turn on my video lights. I was like, why is the light so moody in here today? What did I do wrong? That's what. We have nice natural light here though, so I guess we're okay. So we'll take the hands forward now, bring the big toes to touch. Place the hands like table, but then turn your hands just a little more outward, another 5 or 10 degrees. Planting through the left palm. Take an inhale to reach the right arm up. Open the chest. And then as you exhale, either touch the floor or keep going, threading the needle. Inhale to reach the right arm up again. Exhale, touch the right fingers to the floor under the shoulder, or bend the elbow and thread through, your choice. And then continue a few more movements with your breath. Look for those short pauses at the ends of the movements. And try to slow the breath to match the movement. On the next inhale, reach the right arm up. We'll take 5 breaths there, so you can open the right chest towards the sky and pause there. Extra challenge, make big circles with the right shoulder. Back by the hip with the palm down, and then forwards by the ear, thumbs up. It's just like strumming an acoustic guitar. And then return to the center, place the right hand down, and slightly angle it out so the index finger is more or less aiming straight ahead. Inhale, other side, left arm up. And exhale, touch the left fingers down, or keep going, threading the needle. Continue moving with your breath. Even on the inhale movement, try to stay connected to the core, just enough to draw the front ribs in. So we could be doing that with our abs. We also have muscles around our ribs, our internal intercostal muscles, which assist with exhalation. And last one, reach up with the arm, turning the left chest open. Pause there, so you can stay in this move for 5 breaths. Option 2, reach back by the hip, palm down, towards the floor and forward by the ear. Big circular movements. And then we'll lower the left hand down. Come back to the center. Now taking the hands forward a little bit more, you can move the blocks towards the back of the mat, just so they're out of the way, or about midway down. And then we'll lay down onto the belly. Starting in Sphinx Pose, come onto your forearms and bring the elbows a little bit past your shoulders. As you exhale, you can let the heart melt down, relax into the pose. And then as you inhale, pull back a little bit, lifting the heart. You can also push down through your forearms. Exhale to lower. And continue, moving with the breath. And then exhale, come down. Bring your hands out a little bit wider than the mat. And this is a variation of Cobra Pose where the hands are super wide. Take an inhale to lift the shoulders and then pull back with your hands to lift the heart. Exhale to slowly come down and just move to your own comfortable degree. If you're not sure or if it feels really uncomfortable, here's a great modification. Lift the fists away from the floor. And so now you're engaging the upper back, and it's more your active range that you're developing. And exhale, come down. And then last one is my favorite one. This is the locust. Some call it the swimmer. It's harder than it looks, so be warned. It's a very effective movement, though. So bring your hands as close to your sacrum as you can get them, as close as you can. That's the area around the back of the pant line. Bring your legs together. I hear a puppy coming. Uh-oh. And then take your left arm forward on an inhale, turning the shoulders so thumbs up at the end of it. Exhaling, come back to center, hand near the sacrum. Other side, inhale, right arm forward, and then thumbs up near the end point. And then exhale, bring the hand back. Good. Again, left arm, opposite leg comes up. Exhale, return to center. Inhale, right arm, opposite leg lifts. Exhale, return to center. And continue, 3 more on each side. For an extra challenge, incorporate short pauses at the ends of the movements. Breathing in slowly. Exhaling fully. The trick to back bending is letting the air in slowly. Instead of breathing too much, which is very common, a little bit of air over a long period of time. I think this is our last one. I may have lost track. Forgive me. Oh, very good. Now bring the hands by low ribs. Engaging your core, tuck your chin, press up to your knees. And then sit back towards your heels as much as you can comfortably. Walk the arms forward and bow the head down. And this is another variation of puppy stretch. If you like to relax the wrist more, you could rest the forearms on the floor. Let your tail get heavy. Allow your lower back to soften, to relax. And then feel the breath. Gentle tension in the core can help us soften the lower back, especially those deeper abdominal connections that relate to exhaling, namely the transverse abdominis. So try to breathe like the ocean. And inhale, slowly lift your head, pushing into the hands. Exhale to lift the hips, and you can walk the dog from there. If you prefer to come off the hands, you could bring the hands towards the feet and come into ragdoll, holding the elbows with the heels rooted. Otherwise, keep walking the dog, pushing through the hands, spreading the fingers and toes wide. We can also explore moving the hips side to side. And then we'll all meet in ragdoll. Bend your knees. Walk the hands towards the feet if you haven't yet. And then letting go of the elbows, tuck your chin. Bend your knees a little more. Contracting the buttocks, slowly roll up to standing. And then take a few moments to connect in mountain pose. Stepping towards the front of the mat. We can place one block at the front corner of the mat, one on the right, one on the left, and then we'll meet again in mountain. So let's really wake up the feet and glutes a little bit more. Pressing one hand into the other. Exhale to bend your knees. And then inhale, circle the arms up. Slowly straighten the legs. Exhale, press one hand into the other. Bend the knees. Inhale, slowly circle the arms, coming up to standing in mountain. Again, exhale, one hand presses against the other. Bend the knees. Try to alternate as you go. Inhale, reaching up. Changing hands, exhale. Inhale, reaching up. And last one, exhale, pressing hands. Inhale, reach up. And then relax, arms at sides in mountain. And take a moment to feel the residue. Notice any changes you feel energetically or mentally from doing this practice so far. And then we'll play with shifting the weight from one foot to the other. So you can lean over your right leg. Notice how that leg becomes weight-bearing, and then lean over the left. It's good to work with a little bit of bend in the knees, going side to side, and try to spread your toes as much as you can. And then leaning into your right leg, pause. Start by lifting the left heel. Next, fully lift the left knee. And then try to make some circles in the hip, 3 times in one direction, engaging from the buttock. And then 3 more in the other. And then lowering the foot, we'll lean over the left foot. Start by picking up the right heel, turn the hip out. You could stay there. Next phase, lift the knee, and then make circles with the hip, engaging the buttock. 3 times in one direction. And 3 times in the other. This is good preventative medicine for winter walking. And then come back to center. Straighten the legs. Roll your shoulders up and back. And then pause in stillness for a moment. Feel free to close your eyes. Now shifting weight into the right foot, bend your knees. Pick up the left knee. Step the left foot back, angling it towards the front left corner of the mat. Take an inhalation to lift the arms up, straighten the legs. Exhale, bend the front knee and bend the elbows like a W shape. Inhale, straighten the leg, straighten the arms. Exhale, bend the knees and bend the elbows. Strong in the core. And then keep the abdominal strength on the inhale as you reach up. Exhale, bend the arms. We'll do a few more like this, so keep exploring at your own pace. It's kind of like doing a pull-up. To help support the lower back, we have the abdominals. We also have the hip extensor muscles. The muscles in the backs of the thighs, the hamstrings, and the glutes. So a great cue for engaging those is try to kick yourself in the bum with your own heel. Of course you can't because your foot's on the floor, so you press your foot towards the back of the mat, and that'll tension up those muscles. All right, round 2. So inhale, arms straight up. This time on the exhale, bend your elbows, bend your knee, and start to hinge forward, keeping the back straight. Inhale, come up, straighten the arms. Exhale, bend the arms and knee, hinging forward. 3 more to go. A little more core strength to draw the front ribs in as we bow, which will help keep the bending out of the lower back. The lower back loves to bend. It's built for it, so we're trying to tame it. Good. And then next inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, little bend in the right knee. Take your fingers to yoga blocks, or you could use a chair if you have a chair in front of you. Inhale, lift the heart halfway, light touch. See how much you can comfortably straighten the right leg, engaging the quads. And pause there. Think of drawing back through your right hip by pressing your heel towards the back of the mat. And then you're welcome to explore folding on the exhale. And we'll take about 5 more breaths. You can pause in stillness or explore movement if you prefer. There's value in both. The movements help create the strength to support the flexibility. Whereas the stretching part helps us figure out what's possible. Next inhale, lift the heart halfway. Exhale, bend your right knee. This is the hard part. So keep your knee just over the ankle and try drawing the right hip back. From there, spread the arms out like wings, engaging between shoulder blades, strong in the core. 3 breaths. Full exhale, strong core and glutes. Inhale, come up, lifting the arms. And then exhale, step to the front in mountain pose and take a moment to feel the residue. And then we'll do that same sequence on the other side. And I call this the Warrior Vinyasa, since it's a sequence of movements based around Warrior 1. So bend the knees, leaning into your left foot. Right foot slowly steps back, aiming it towards the front right corner, bit of an angle. On an inhale, lift the arms up, shoulder width. Exhale, bend the arms, bend the front knee. Again, inhale, reaching up, staying connected to the core. Exhale, bend the knee, and continue. So think of squeezing the heels towards each other, and that'll help keep a little bit of tone in the back of the left thigh. So the leg becomes a support for the spine. And we'll do a few more. Try making the breath more the focus now. Okay, second variation. Exhale, bend the arms and hinge forward. Inhale, come up and straighten the arms. Exhale, bend the elbows and knee, hinging forward. Inhale, come up and straighten. 3 more to go. This is an invitation to engage with the glutes and core in relationship. These are the same connections involved with most other yoga poses, including balancing on one leg. On your next exhale, take the hands to the yoga blocks or a chair at the front of the mat, whatever you have available. And then as you inhale, push into the fingers, lifting the heart. Engage the front of your left thigh, spread the toes, and breathe. Think of drawing the left hip back by pressing the heel back slightly. And then you're welcome to explore movement, folding on the exhale, and relift the heart on the inhale. If you prefer to pause upright, that's fine as well. If you like to make smaller movements, that's great too. Listen to your body. That's the main thing. As I was mentioning earlier, the transitional movements help us develop the strength to support flexibility. Whereas when we hold a forward fold a little bit longer, we can get a sense of the stretch in the hamstring and what's possible in the body. It doesn't mean that we're necessarily strong in that position right away, but we can cultivate that strength once we're in there by pressing the heels towards each other, engaging the back of the legs. We can also try tearing the mat apart with the feet, engaging around the left hip flexors and right buttocks. That's really everything working. Everything but the jaw and the forehead and the face. And on your next inhale, slowly come up halfway. Exhale, bend your left knee, draw back through the hip. Arms out to the sides on an inhale, holding for 3 breaths. Strong core, strong between the shoulder blades. Tuck the chin a little bit to help relax the back of the neck. On your next inhale, come all the way up, lifting arms. And exhale, slowly stepping forward into mountain pose. One last standing posture. So we'll take the feet wide apart. If you have 2 yoga blocks, you can bring one to the back of the mat, keep the other near the front of the mat. And we'll find ourselves in preparation stance, the king of the poses. So lift and spread your toes and then turn the right foot out about 90 degrees. You may have to adjust the left foot a little bit to make that possible, so you can play around with it. And then bend the right leg for Warrior 2. As you inhale, reverse the warrior, lifting the right arm up. And then as you exhale, extended side angle, forearm to thigh. Repeat that 3 times. Inhale, reaching back, reverse the warrior. Option to straighten the leg. Exhale, side angle, bending right knee, strong in the buttock. Again, inhale, reversing, option to straighten the legs. Exhale, side angle, bending the knee. Last transition. Inhale, reversing the warrior. Exhale, bend the knee, extended side angle. So you can take your hand to a yoga block just beside the foot. If the block is outside the foot, try to press the knee out into your arm. Abducting the hip using the glute muscles. And then imagine playing guitar with that left arm. Big circles. And then reaching that left arm up to the sky, bring the arm behind the back, turning the shoulder in. So this is called a half bind. You can have the fingernails close to the back of the spine. Maybe you can reach for that front hip if the arms are long. And breathe. Roll your shoulder back a little, and then let your right ear come down towards your right shoulder. So it's an invitation to stretch the side of the neck while still working the legs. All right, and then we'll come up to Warrior 2 again. And then from parallel feet, turn the left foot out. Right toes in a little bit, and then find that Warrior 2 stance with the knee bent. Inhale, reverse the warrior, left arm up. Exhale, side angle, right arm by the ear. And continue. Inhale to reach back. Option to straighten the leg. Exhale, side angle, strong in the buttock. And continue. On the next exhale, we'll hold side angle, so forearm to thigh, or take the hand to the yoga block outside of the foot. Press the knee out into the arm, abducting the hip, engaging the glutes, and then imagine playing guitar with the top arm. Big circular movements. Notice how you can tear the mat apart with the feet, or you can squeeze the feet towards each other. Both ways work. And then bring that top arm behind the back, turning the shoulder inwards. Rest the hand on the back of the spine or reach for the front thigh. And then bring the left ear down to the shoulder. Shoulders away from ears, inviting a stretch into the neck. And then strong in the buttocks, come back to Warrior 2. Whew. Back to parallel feet, preparation stance, and then we'll step to the front of the mat. And then from there, we'll make our way into a sitting position. So you can simply bring the legs out in front. And then take the hands about half a foot behind you. Lift the heart as much as possible and press the heels into the floor just in front of your pelvis. And we'll take a few breaths in this position. Lift the heart as much as you can. If your wrist is sore, you might have the hands too far back. So in that case, bring the hands a little bit closer to your hips. See what feels right. And then spread the fingers, push through the upper palm, and try to grip with the fingertips. Now bringing the soles of the feet to the floor. Inhale to lift the hips up to your own comfortable degree. And exhale, bring them down. And repeat that a few more times. Inhale, lift the hips. Strong between shoulder blades. Exhale, lower. And we'll hold this last one for 3 breaths. So lift the hips, squeeze the shoulder blades, and keep pushing strong into the upper palm for 1, 2, and 3. Exhale down. Very good. And then I'm going to turn to the side just so I have more space. Okay, so we'll windshield wiper the legs side to side, taking the feet a little bit wider than hip width. You might also find an openness in the chest in this pose. And then bringing the knees towards the right side, try walking the right ankle a little further forward. You can also try sliding the left knee back a little bit to your own comfortable degree. And then with an exhale, try to fold over your right knee. Maybe you're folding more towards the shin if you're a bit looser. You can play around with the angles there. And we'll hang out. And then slowly come up. We'll go to the other side. You can simply turn your legs towards the left, and I'll see you on the other side. Feel free to slide the right knee back a little bit. Wiggle the left ankle forward, and then explore, bowing over the knee. Potentially, you can bow towards the shin or the foot. And you're welcome to pause in a sweet spot. Feel free to close the eyes and drop into your breath. And very slowly come on up. Bring the legs towards the front of your mat. And then we'll take a long breath in to lift the arms up. Bending your knees, exhale to slide the hands over the top of the feet. Again, inhale, lift the heart. If you can't reach the top of the feet, you could hold the back of the legs instead. Exhale, head towards the knees. The idea is to relax the spine, even though the legs will be working a bit. If you're quite flexible, feel free to straighten the legs. And notice the feeling of the breath flowing up through the back of the spine. And then on an inhale, slowly start to come up. Exhale, lay down onto the back, making your way into relaxation. If you'd like to do any last movements before that, feel free. And then make yourself really comfortable. If you have any discomfort in the lower back, it can be helpful to prop up the back of the knees or the back of the thighs on yoga blocks or whatever you have available to you, so that the knees are supported with a slight bend. And then the tail can be sent forward towards the heels, creating a little bit more space between the vertebrae. And then as you rest there, do a scan through the face, releasing tension wherever you may find it. In the forehead, in the jaw, in the throat. Shoulders and neck. And as you watch the breath naturally flowing in through you, notice there may be a gentle rise on the inhale around the belly or even around the heart. And everything flows down on the exhale. So I welcome you to spend more time in Shavasana as long as you can. We're out of time for today. I was going to do some breathing with you, but I'll have to wait till next time. So thank you so much for practicing. I'll be back to teaching weekend classes this weekend as my teacher training isn't running, so I hope to see you on the mat there on Saturday. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. Hope you feel a little better now. I know I always do. That and nature. Oh, thank you, Jules. So glad you made it, Mom.